నేనే క్లాస్ ఏంటంటే మీరు నాకంటే ఫీచర్కి వస్తున్నారు కదా, నేను చెప్తా. క్లాస్ చూపించామనుకో ఒక అలవాటు అయిపోతుంది. మార్నింగ్ yesterday class we done the get call, post call, put to call and what. Who are absent yesterday standard. Today you write the code, ma. Today I will not take any points here. You write the code for that. What is our requirement is like no, you save post call. You saved the employee, right? Saved what? Employee. Today you write the post call like what is a post call we should write. At the rate post mapping you write. At the rate post mapping you write, just you can write the slash. I want to save the bulk records. Post mapping you are saving how many records on one record. Now I want to save the bulk records. To save the bulk record case, you write the controller layer, you write the auto wiring, you write the controller layer, auto wiring, what layer is auto wiring, what layer, and you write the method also, post mapping method. Just I'll tell you the post mapping method. A post mapping, like you capture the save all employees. One employee, all employees are. All employees. Save all employees method you can take as usual request what is common. Previously, same post mapping is like single employee data. We are storing what the data guys employee. We are storing what amount? Employee. But now you write the code like now you want save the single employee, multiple employees or see previously postman or swagger we are giving the single employee using like braces. In the braces you given the data like that. Today is one employee, multiple employees. Take the list format like JSON array, not list format. JSON array concept. JSON array contains first object and what one second object. Like that, you give the multiple objects. Click on what post. When you click on the post, URL is what bulk. So bulk is the URL. Just you can go for the save employee. This is getting one employee list of employees or list of employees. Controller layer, you capture that list of employees, send that list of employees to the what layer? Service layer. Generally, service layer you should write the logic, but you don't write the too much logic for this save all because already save process you write the logic, right? So no. Save all you don't write any logic, but just you save the data in the database. Sir, we know the save method to save the single record, like save of what? Employee we written, right? Now you want return store the single employee bulk records are we have the method like save up repository like Repository people, you don't have any method, but JPA repository providing what method, like what method amount? Save all. Save all of what you can write the employees. That's all. Save all of what? Employees. That's it. There we are going for the save. There we are going for what? The save all. There we are getting the what? One employee, but this is what? One employee, list of employees. List of employees. Service people, you sorry, controller layer, you return the data. What you return the data? Like response entity as well. Response entity, you return one employee, list of employees. Because you got the list of employees, they saved in the database and they return what in one employee, list of employees. List of employees they return, then you can save the data in the database. You return the client browser. So when you give the input is like list of employees, they will save the list of employees in the database. What they save, they return the list of employees back to the client. Back to what? Client. That's one thing you do it. So next one is like write one get mapping, guys. Get mapping of just you can write the slash counter. The URL is what count. See, after saving, I want to count how many employees are there in my database. I want to know how many employees are in what database. How many employees are there in the database means you write the count. URL is a count. Just you can write the response entity. Response entity, guys, here we should write the integer because here we are getting only count value. What you're getting guys here? Just you can make it as integer, just write on the count value. How many employees are there in the database? So to get the get employee count URL you can call get employee count. Are you giving any input or no? No input. You just call to service layer. Service layer you call to what layer? Repository layer. The employee repository layer contains directly count method. What method? Count method. Count method return type is a long. Then you can store the data into what? Long variable. You can simply call the count. The count is returned to what layer? Controller layer. Controller layer people, you write the response entity which return the count to the employees. Count to the client. Count to what? Client. You write that mapping also. Extra method. And next one you write one more method like that is like delete mapping. At the rate what mapping? Delete mapping. You write the delete mapping made previously written like delete by ID. So just you can write the braces. Tell me guys what is written? Slash braces and what? ID. This is the ID based on the delete mapping. You written the ID. But see guys, now you don't write like delete mapping based on the ID. You delete all the records. The client wants to delete one record, all records are. All records means like, see guys, all records means like, you write the delete all. What am I? Delete all. Delete all URL you can write. What URL? Delete all URL. If the client is giving any input here, no. Only post mapping today, he given some input guys. He given some input. He given some input for the post mapping because bulk means what area of object in JSON, array of JSON array he given, store the JSON array database and return the same array back to the client. But count get delete and is giving any inputs on you call to like service layer people you call the repository layer that is employee report dot. Previously delete means what delete by ID guys here delete all is there simply. What all delete all. See guys, get by ID, get all. Delete by ID, delete all. Find by ID, find all. Yes or no? Yes, sir. Find by ID means one ID. Find all means all. Delete by ID, one. Delete all. And save one record. Save all, multiple records. Then how many methods you should write? Three methods. And see guys, one more standard we need to follow in these URLs. One standard I will tell you when you make the URLs here. What is the standard we should follow? Employee controller to save the data, guys. What the URL you are giving? Tell me here. To save the data, what the URL you are giving here? Save, right? What URL, ma'am? Save. But real time, guys, we cannot use like this kind of save slash save. For you guys understanding purpose, I written the slash save. Then only can understand that okay, save method you are calling, so that save the data into what database you are. But real time there is no post mapping and this does not contain the URLs actually. What the common URL tell me here? API slash v1 slash employees. API slash v1 slash employees means the standard is you are saving like the employee. Saving what? Employee. Saving the employee. When you save the employee, guys, just you can write the post mapping, that's all. Just if you write the post mapping, then what is the URL we have to select? Tell me. Request method is the post. Then URL is what? API slash v1 slash employees. So post mapping does not contain what? URL like same. I've previously written the code. If you want, you can keep it and not required otherwise. And that is one thing, guys. Even get also. Get also get mapping, there is no URL for that. So get mapping means what the base URL written here, API slash v1 slash employee. See, API slash v1 slash employee, if you select the post mapping, save the data. If you select the get mapping, read the data. It one record, all records are all records. When you get by ID means you are giving the URL is what? ID, right? That is standard, no problem. Get by ID is what? Standard. And next one is what case here? Delete mapping. Delete by ID is also ID we should give standard, no problem. But see, now I'm saying like no, delete all, right? Delete also don't write this URL lines. See, base URL is what? API slash v1 slash employees. Post mapping don't take the URL. If you select the post, save the data. If you select the getter, get all the data. When you can select the deleter, delete all the records. We delete one record, all records are. That's what in real time sometimes you see that post mapping without URLs. Without URLs means okay, we have the base URL. Using base URL, if you select the tell me this is what URL base URL. Base URL, if you select the post means what it will do? Base URL post means what it will do? Save the data. Save the data. So same base URL you can write for the get means what? Getting one record, all records are. So get all records. If it is a get means what? Get all the records. And next one is what is here? Get the poster. Next one is what? Delete. So delete. What you can say here? Delete. It is standard. I'll tell you tomorrow. Better to do one thing. You just to make the URL is what? Delete all. Delete all bulk. You write this code. The standard I will tell in the evening because if I mix both, you get the confusion separate. Now you write the how many methods? Three methods. You write the controller class, you write the service class, you write the repository class. You write the auto wiring, what data is auto wiring, what layer. How to make the bridge between the layers means what? Using auto wiring. What layer is injected in what layer means? What layer is injected in what layer? What layers controller layer injected in what? Service layer. Service layer injected into what? Huh? Nice. Tell me, controller layer injected into what layer? Service. Service layer injected into what? చెప్పాను కదా మా గొర్రెలని layer. Controller layer injected into what layer? What layer injected into what layer? చెప్పండి. Service layer injected into Nice. At least use proper analysis, write the code. Don't turn the pages. Till you turn the pages is useless. Without turn the pages, you write these three classes: controller class, service class, repository class, with annotation, with base URL, with post mapping, bulk records, list of employees. I told clearly methods: save all to save all the records, count to count the records, delete all to delete all the records. Remaining process is common. What input is getting, that input is sent to what layer? Service layer to what layer? Repository layer. Got it up? Now use some common sense, write the code fast. Complete chain, code complete chain. When you write the code, give some gap between the, gap between the method to method. ఏంద్రా అయ్యా పారాగ్రాఫ్ రాసినట్టు రాస్తున్నారు కదా నోట్స్ లేకపోయినా write the three methods. Any questions? మళ్ళీ నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు నాయన లాస్ట్ నేను వెళ్ళలేదు నా చెవులు సరిగ్గా పనిచేయవు అయ్యో మీద అంతా. You want me to repeat one more time? You understood? How many methods you are declared out of here? Three. One is save all, one is delete all, one is count. That's all. మరి ఈ రాయకుండా దరిద్రంగా తన రాసుకున్న ఫస్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కోసం ఏంటి అంతా టైం వస్తుంది చేతులు కాదు లాస్ట్ స్టాండర్డ్ ఇప్పుడు నా పేరు చెప్తున్నారండి మీరు ఒకటి పేరు ఏం చెప్తున్నారా ఆటో వైరింగ్ కంట్రేట్ ఆటో వైరింగ్ అదే జగ ఉంది Right, all of it on the three methods, right? Yeah, execute the three methods. Post mapping, get mapping, delete mapping. Total how many calls you done? Total how many calls you got total? Total how many calls? 8 and 9 now. That is like one call in people side. Tomorrow all of you bring the laptops. Tomorrow all of you carry the what? Laptop. Tomorrow carry the laptops. Evening class I'll tell you some standards. Because if the employee is not found, we are raising exception, right? Or else through runtime exception you are raising. No? But raising runtime exception is not good because real time our project should have our own exceptions. I'll tell the AOP module, aspect oriented programming or programming. Aspect oriented programming. So generally the people will write the normal tutorials. Some people, most of the faculty, some equipment, they write the code like try-catch blocks. If else conditions in the controller itself. Controller they'll write a try-catch. But evening class I will AOP concept is there. Don't mix the exception handling logic with the main business logic. Separate the main business logic and exception handling logic, right? Separation is good, mixing is good. Separate exception handling logic from business logic. Your controller layer contains only URLs, no exception handling, no transactions, no if else, nothing. And your service layer should contains only what? Business logic. Repository layer contains only database operation. But your layers should not contain exception handling code. Your layer should not contain the testing code. Your layer should not contain the logging code. Your layers should not contain the transaction code. Those all we write separate. Your layer should not contain the security code. Because security code is different, main business was different. So we need to, these are like, we can call it as a cross-cutting concerns. What concern, ma'am? Cross-cutting concerns. What are cross-cutting concerns like, security, logging, transactions, exception handling. These all are like, cross-cutting concerns. We need to separate this cross-cutting concern from the business logics. From the business logic. Your code should not contain what? Exception handling logic. Your code should not contain the logging code. Your code should not contain security code. Your code should not contain what? Transaction code and all. We need to separate those all the logic from your main business logic. To separate that data, we are going for the concept like AOP. What the concept of AOP? Aspect oriented what? Programming. In the lab, when you have the time, in the aspect oriented programming, using Spring Boot, not using Spring. Spring Boot means they will go more predefined support. Using Spring Boot as AOP concept, you implement one example. Where example line. You implement a separate example. Separate example you implement using AOP. Implement using what? AOP. Implement using AOP. What is AOP? Try to understand. I told the main intention of AOP. But the main intention of AOP, separating the cross-cutting logics from the main business logic. Cross-cutting logics is separate aspect. Cross-cutting concerns are what? Security, logging, transaction, exception handling. These all are like cross-cutting concerns. Testing code, unit test cases, something like that. Anyone is implementing the one example, one small project on the AOP and show me by today or evening or tomorrow. Today evening or what? Tomorrow. Cross-cutting concerns like AOP contains some data like at the rate before. I'm giving some overview about the AOP who are interested to the project on AOP. AOP contains some annotation at the rate after, at the rate before, at the rate close, at the rate around, at the rate viewing, at the rate join point, point cutter. We have some annotations like that. Make one example on what AOP. Also, what is the AOP will do, sir? I written the logging logic separate. I written the logging is what? Separate. That logging logic should be executed every before method call. At the rate before means what? That logic executed before method call. At the rate after means what? That logic executed after the method call. What method call is service method call or whatever it may be. that you need to specify there. Control method before a service method before that we need to specify them. You first implement these three examples, these three into your example. Evening I will check your Swagger too. Swagger I will check all of you, and when you have the time, you finish the AOP project. So you also AOP project finishes on Saturday, not Saturday by tomorrow at least. By do some R&D on AOP. What is AOP? What is entered for? Why the AOP concept introduced in the introduced? Get the clarity about it. When you try to do this kind of projects like the examples kind, in real time someone told some new topic, you are able to do an example. Just you try to understand what is a concept and what it will do. Before starting example, first you try to read all the points about AOP, try to get the clarity about AOP first. Okay, this logic should be executed before service method call. I need to log the messages before the service call like that. Try to understand the concept. Minimum 1 hour spend the time on understanding what is AOP before start doing implementations. Before start doing implementation. AOP project just AOP project. Last Jodi batch. AOP call. But make sure that Ratan sir class means what? That should be real time. That should be analysis. It's not like M1 method, M2 method. It's not like you don't write a before method. Because when you ask the ChatGPT, when you ask see guys, what the code I written, even ChatGPT will not give. ChatGPT will give the possibilities of all other tutorials. Even if you write at the rate before, at the rate after, AOP, they'll write the SOP statement, M1 method, M2 method. This is a before around, after around, they'll write the message, SOP messages. But you want SOP message usage. Usage usage. You want what, ma? You finish with usage. Finish with what? Usage. But don't think like half an hour, 1 hour, I need to get the clarity. 2 hours, I need to do entire projects. Don't think like that. Because new topic, definitely it will take what? Time. Try to understand the points. Try to understand what? Points. See guys, first 2 hours, we will spend the time on the architecture. We got some idea. After 4th hour, again we spent 2 more hours. 4th hour, we decided first 2 hours what you told, some mistakes are there. That is the point. First 2 hours, so that up to 2 hours what you spend, that is correct at that time. But when you spend the 2 more hours, 4th hour, first 2 hours topic, some of the topics are misleading. At the end of the day, 8th hour, morning first 1 hour doing that is a waste work actually. అర్థమైందా 8th hour వచ్చేసరికి మా మార్నింగ్ 1 hour first hour we are doing work, right? That's a waste work. That is all about the basic, that is all about not standard code, that is not about what yeah. I'm saying when is because first 2 hours if we spend, you got some idea. 4th hour, definitely you feel that first 2 hours code is what? Somewhere what? Some mistake is going on. 8th hour code, you will get the standard. When you feel the standard, first 1 hour code is useless. So that is what? That is the process of flow who are doing really work. And after 2 hours, you don't think sir, I'm not getting, sir. How much time you practice? 1 hour, sir. 1 hour, talk part away. 1 hour, how you will get the data? 2 hours, how you will get the data? 4 hours says the first hour to 6 hours says the first 4 hours to the applied. 8th hour, you got the current, first 2 hours work is wasted. I మొత్తం తీసేసి filter చేసేసి you do the filtering of all the work, then finally you decided it's a final work. We need to update what?